everyone. Welcome. Yes, it's time for another Lit Life series. Yes, I'm so glad that you're here with me, and I'm just going to check on some folks who are saying they're going to join. Oh my goodness. And I see my guest. She's here already. And yes, so she will be joining shortly. I am KP Carter, your host of the Lit Life series, and I'm so glad that you're here. Do you know that this is episode 11? Oh my gosh. I am so grateful that some of you have been hanging in here with me every single week. So I'm just waiting for my guest to request to join. And hey, my friend, Dr. Sheila. And I'm looking for my guest. I saw her on here, but she needs to request to join, and I'm sure she will momentarily. Yes. So here she comes, my guest for the evening. Let me accept her request. Hey, she says she's here.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I am wonderful. I'm so glad that you're here with me. We're just getting started. I always want to try to figure out how to, well, no, I'm not going to go into all of that. Thank you for joining me. Yeah. I am KP Carter. This is the Lit Life series, and I am the Literacy Whisperer. So what is a literacy whisperer? So people have asked me that a lot. I whisper behaviors and reading etiquette to help children become better readers. My goal is to get all of those children out there reading to the best of their ability and cultivating our future leaders. So I just want to mention a little bit about my upcoming relaunch of Lizzie Behaves, Summertime with Lizzie Behaves. And this is a book that's dear to my heart. Why is it dear? Because this was my very first book I published in 2014. I decided that I wanted to relaunch it to refresh the story, get kids more excited about the book and understanding what life was like in the 1960s. Lizzie is a quirky little girl, 8 years old. She and 3 colorful generations of her family lived their ordinary lives during the summer of the 1967 in Newark, New Jersey. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. So tonight, I have a very special guest with me, Miss Kim C. Lee. I am so happy that she's here. Oh, and people are joining and waving. Hello. So as you know, on the Lit Life series, I always bring you superb, excellent, awesome, amazing authors who write children's books and literacy advocates. So tonight, you have a double header, a triple header. Miss Kim Lee is, well, I call her my Canva guru. Besides writing children's books and being an outstanding mother, she is my Canva guru. Yes, she is. So just jump right on in, Miss Kim. Tell us about yourself, please.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I greatly appreciate it. I love hearing your whispering. I've had some behind the scenes views of what you do, and I greatly appreciate it and think it's such a wonderful thing. So kudos to you for all the great things that you do.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. So I am Kim C. Lee. I am a children's book author. I'm also a creative coach, and what this means is that I help people figure out what they need to do creatively, most of the people I work with are authors. They may want to build a website or establish a brand, visual brand, I'll say that, a visual brand. Or they may just want to create content or marketing and promotional materials. So I assist with those sort of things. And then I'm a mom. I have a son. He's 8 years old, growing fast, very, very fast. You always tell me, KP, make sure I pay attention to these years, and they just seem to be going just like that. So yes, so that's who I am in a nutshell. I guess I think recently I made a post. I'll also offer this, is that, so I'm not a full-time author. I've met so many people who are doing it, and I really give them a round of applause because they're able to commit full-time to it, or, you know, that's where their heart is, so they're able to pursue that full-time. But I'm not a full-time author. I actually work during the day. So, and I work in the technology area. So I'm a technology professional who also enjoys writing children's books and all this other stuff. Busy lady, yes.
Yes, yes. You call yourself a Jill of all trades.
Yes.
So one of your books is entitled Grand Joy. I love that title. Tell us about that book and why you decided to write about joy.
Sure. So Grand Joy actually came out of a friendship that I have with Kay Denise Hendershot. We've known each other for so very, very long, and she calls her grandchildren her grand joys. And I have not heard anyone else refer to anyone else in their family as grand joys. And I've known her for so long, and she's always called them this. And, you know, we went through a period of time during the pandemic where we lost the ability to do all of these things that we enjoyed, you know, just like that. It was torn away. You can't go hug anyone. You can't go to the playground. You can't, you know, the everyday things that we were doing, those small things that we probably didn't realize we appreciated, but they were taken away. And then everyone was like, oh, I wish I could just go do all these simple things. So, you know, we went from being able to see each other, like we would meet up. Denise and I would meet up often. We would go eat, we would hang out, we would do kind of events in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, and that all came to a stop as well. But we ended up on Zoom and on phone calls and text messaging more, you know, using all of these virtual collaborative and connection tools to be able to interact and talk to one another. And we started talking about this, you know, her grand joys and she not being able to see them. Like, this is one of the things that she really, really, you know, she really, really loved those kids and she liked being around them. And then just the little things, you know, it kind of all complemented one another. And I told her, like, we need to write a book. We need to write a book based on this premise, you know? So from there, we went through a whole collaborative process, just creating this book surrounding just the joy of these small things that we tend to overlook, things that, you know, bring us happiness. And the goal of the book is to have people really think about that. You know, we always have these bigger things in life that we celebrate, but we need to pay more attention to the smaller things, the everyday things, the things we take for granted. So.
Wow, Grand Joy. I love that title. And I did not know that it was because she referred to her grandchildren as grand joy. That is so sweet. And yes, we did lose a lot of different things during the pandemic, and we're still making up for that. So it is very important for us to look at the little things that bring us joy. Like if we want to just sit and watch a flower, that's joyful. Yes. So tell us about Frankie Jordon and the Night Owl.
Oh, okay. So so let's start with the Night Owl. So the Night Owl was my first children's book, and it is based on my son. So, you know, I started writing books because of him. I've always loved writing, but actually publishing a book, he was, you know, the push to do that. And we were, you know, when he was younger, trying to get him to go to sleep, and he's like, I'm going to stay up all night. And like, I'm going to write a book about this, you know, and you'll have this book and we'll laugh at it later. And this will be this thing that you can carry with you. So the Night Owl is about a little boy who does not like to go to sleep. And, you know, I'm a parent, but I'm only a parent of one. So I've met so many people who have several kids, or at least more than one. And they say, oh my goodness, this is my child. this is definitely my child. And I never really realized it was a kid thing. It was like, this is normal in a sense, right? Kids not wanting to go to bed, especially when they're younger. So the Night Owl focuses on that. It's a fun read. It's a bedtime story. My son is very proud of the fact that he is the Night Owl. If you haven't read it, I do urge you to go check it out at least. We read it often, and he loves it. And then I have Meet Frankie Jordon, which was my second book, or is my second book. And that book is based on my niece. So she loves art. And, you know, when she was younger, I did, you know, the whole bring your child to, I mean, she wasn't my child, but I brought her to work anyway. And I would watch her, you know, instead of looking, let's say, oh, what are you doing, Auntie, like, as part of your work? She'd be the kid, like, drawing a picture. We'd be in a meeting, and she'd be drawing a picture of everyone sitting around and what they're doing and capturing, you know, what they look like. And she's done this since she was really young, and the art has stayed with her. The flip side to that, though, is that kids who are more invested in art, people tend to look at them or say, you know, you need to focus on something else, something more solid, that they would tend to call more solid. And the book, I felt like as she got older, you know, she went to college, she's pursuing an art degree. It was really important for me to capture her story, to show other little kids that, you know, you can be true to who you are. You can be different, and people can accept you. We should accept other people who are different. But even more so as a little Black girl, right, who loves art. I wanted to make sure they had something to see themselves. And I have truly heard from so many people, adults even, who remember they grew up when they were little, they loved art, and maybe they didn't go to art school, or maybe they didn't continue along with the art, but they like really relate to the storyline and they appreciate it. So that's Meet Frankie Jordon. And the Frankie Jordon dolls are now back in stock.
Yes, I love those Frankie Jordon dolls. That is such a wonderful idea. I am reading a book now called The Artist's Way. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it is about helping adults recapture their artist child. And for whatever reason, it may have been squashed or frowned upon. And it's also a book to help people who experience writer's block. So that is such an important topic, because we do have to be who we are.
Yes.
We have to pursue. And it's not encouraging to tell a child, well, you have to find something else to do. If that is in their heart, to be an artist.
And I think most people too, as you get older, like you may start pursuing one path, but when you get to an age where you can make your own decisions and you become more, okay, go get something to drink. Sorry, that's my little night owl. But as you, when you get to a place where you can make more of your decisions, hold on, Jordan, but you tend to find your way back to the thing that you're true, you know, that's true to you. So, you know, I have a lot of friends who may have went to school to do one thing and their heart really wasn't in it. And then they end up, you know, they spend all this money going to college, doing whatever, and then they end up doing something totally different, which they probably didn't need to spend money on because that's where their heart is, you know? So I think that it's important.
I know about that very well.
Yeah. So I think it's important to just, you know, be aware of that. And then I think the other part of it is, as parents, I find myself doing this sometimes. You know, kids always ask you why. So when we are younger, we ask why thousands of times in a day. It can be thousands of times. And as you get older, because of the way society is, you stop asking why. But the why is the thing that keeps your curiosity primed and enables you to learn and grow. So I think that that's something else that collectively we need to reconsider. You know, when we're interacting with children, reading books, when they ask questions about why this happened in the book, engage in the conversation versus, you know, just shutting it down. So.
Yes, so Miss Kim, you have just gone right on into my next question, and I'm so grateful because, yes, you are sharing some wonderful tips with parents, reading with them, answering their questions when they ask why, And you mentioned something else. What are some other tips you can give to parents? Because you're right in the midst of it with an 8-year-old.
Yes. So what I found, I know when my son started reading when he was 2. So, and what I found is that over time, he doesn't like to do it as much, but it's more so because he doesn't like to read the books that I am asking him to read. So it's easier, or it's better. I want him to read to continue exercising, you know, that capability. So it's easier if I'm able to allow him to find what he actually likes. And it doesn't really matter what it is as long as he's reading it. Again, he's a night owl. So what I found is that on his way to bed, he goes to his bookshelf and he grabs a book and he'll sit in his bed and he'll read it, you know, and then he'll fall asleep reading it. So that's the way that we get there, you know, for him to continue the reading. I'm all for it. The other thing I've learned as a parent is that you don't have to have your child read for hours on end. You know, I don't think they're trained. I mean, not trained, I shouldn't say trained, but I don't think they're built like that.
No, they don't have the capacity.
Right. So
at a certain age.
Mm-hmm. Even if it's like 10 or 15 minutes, as long as they're reading something. My son likes to read the signs. He's becoming more aware of his surroundings when we travel. Like, this road is here, this road is here. So they're doing it, you know, and we just have to be aware of the different ways that they are doing it and allow them to kind of mold the process for themselves.
Yes, that's so important. You are dropping some, as folks say, you're dropping gems.
Look, I'm learning along with. I'm pretty sure there are several parents, including yourself, on this live who could probably share some more tips and make sure I continue along the right path. That's
right, because there's no one right way, but you are on the right track. When you allow your child a chance to choose the books that they want to read, you are guaranteeing that they are going to be more inclined to read. That's a very important thing. And finding the right time when it's right for them. Like you said, he's reading just before he goes to bed and then falls off to sleep reading the book. That's amazing. That really is amazing. So keep that up, I must say. Yeah. Anybody else have any?
What were you saying?
I was just going to ask if anybody else has any suggestions that they can offer. So while our audience is thinking about suggestions, I want you to share how, well, before you share that, what's next for you? What's next for Miss Kim C. Lee? Jill of all trades and Queen.
Yeah, lately I've been focusing more on my creative work. I haven't done any Canva workshops lately, but I'm hopefully going to do some in July. Usually that July midpoint, I probably do some sort of special where I kind of like drop the price and everyone come in and get, you know, a Canva workshop or whatever. But I've been focusing more on the creative work. I have finished my next book, but I'm working through the process of, you know, just getting it illustrated, which is proving a little bit difficult, but I'm the character. So next for me is publishing the next book, continue with the creative work. I will say that as I work through my author journey, I think in the beginning there was an urgency, right? You want to hurry up, you want to get done, sort of thing. But now I feel like the universe is saying, take your time. When it's supposed to happen, it will happen. And you have to worry about it. There's a ton of other things that you could be worrying about. So take your time and just do it as it comes along versus, you know, going against the grain, trying to fight it and so forth. So I'll be at the, if you're in the DMV area, I will be at the Black Child Book Fair Saturday in Silver Spring. I think I did a post about it. You can also find that information on my website. So I'll be there, and then I have a Juneteenth event. If you're down in Georgia, I'll see you guys down there. And then I have another event on the 25th in Maryland at Sandy Springs Slave Museum and African Art Gallery. It's Heritage Day. So if you're in Maryland, Montgomery County, they have Heritage Day that weekend, and all the different sites related to that, they do different events. So I'll be at the event there at the museum with the books, the dolls, etc. So come out. You don't necessarily have to come out and buy a book, but at least I love to meet you. So I'm excited to see folks. So always love people.
if you are in any of those areas, I urge you go out and meet Miss Kim C. Lee. You won't regret it. So here's a big question. How can we purchase your books?
Oh, so
Or your services?
yes. Okay. So my books can be purchased via my website. So you can go kimcleewrites.com. You can purchase the books from there. You can also purchase Grand Joy from my co-author Denise, and her website is diverselove.com, LUV.com. And then also you can grab them off of Amazon or Barnes and Noble online. I know a lot of people love to get their stuff very quickly. So if you are a two-dayer, you need it right away, feel free to order from there. I know a lot of people love to do that. I love to do that at times. Not my book, but other stuff. I like to have it more.
That's right.
So
especially if you want a signed copy.
Yeah. And then I think also, well, not I think, but in Greensboro, Ben's Boys, next chapter at Ben's Boys, shout out to Sharika. I think I'm saying her name, Sharika. I always say her name right. I'm sorry if you're watching this, but she runs a lovely bookstore down there, and she carries my books as well. So there's several different places. There's a list on my website of other places that you can find it. There's some other independent bookstores that are also carrying my books. So that's how you can find me for books. And then for creative services, content creation, accountability, website design, the Canva workshops, you can find me at kimcreates.com. And you can catch me there for right now, but I'm in a process of plotting to update my website to make the whole experience more cohesive. So hopefully before the end of the summer, I'll be launching or relaunching a website that contains all of this in one place. So.
Excellent, excellent. And you said the magic word for tonight, relaunch.
Oh.
Yes. I wonder how many of you notice my little reading buddy sitting here. This is my first time with my little reading buddy. He's joining me and Lizzie tonight. I was at an event this past weekend for literacy. We were donating books to children. And there was an organization there giving out little reading buddies. This is a great little idea that you can have for your child, and just have the little buddy sitting on your shoulder while you're reading your relaunch of Summertime with Lizzie B. Hayes, or one of Miss Kim C. Lee's books. And I want to know who I decided to bring Miss Lizzie B. here with me tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see her all the way?
Yes, we can see her.
Kind of tall. She's kind of tall. Yes. So Lizzie B., as I said to you before, I'm getting ready to relaunch her. She loves to roller skate. She loves to be the center of attention, like many 8-year-old girls do. And she loves the New York Knickerbockers. Well, at that time, that's what they were called, because her dad loved the New York Knicks. Well, back in the 60s and early 70s, they were what was going on. But, you know, that was then, this is now. But anyway, Lizzie B., she's going to be, I'm going to relaunch her this summer. You're not going to want to miss it this time. It's going to be, and you know, I'm trying to hold it so that you can see her really well, because the other day I posted something about Lizzie B. About some of her summer activities with her mother. She and her mother loved to go to the beach. So,
okay, Lizzie.
Yes. She and her mother, I'm a beach bum myself, but her mother was really, really into the beach. So, and also, just like the little guy in Night Owl, Lizzie B. didn't like to go to sleep at night either, but her reason was so that she could stay up and watch her favorite television shows. She had a bedtime, but the way her bedroom was set, she could watch the reflection of the television show through the mirror. But and she loved to dream. She always had dreams about flying. That's a little bit more about Lizzie B. So you're going to want to, hopefully you're going to want to grab this book. It's an excellent book. All of these books that we've been talking about are just right for your child's summer reading list. Their summer reading list. You know, we don't want our children to go backwards in the summer. It's enough that they have gone through all that they went through during the pandemic with those almost 2.5 years of virtual school. So get your children ready to read over the summer, get into the library, and get some quality books for them. Miss Kim, I know I've been in workshops with you before. I don't see one of your books behind you. I usually love to see all of your setup. You always have such a wonderful setup in the background.
Yes, usually I have a nice little setup.
Yes.
I've been in the streets today, so
You've been
my setup here, but
in the streets. Yes. So before we go, I want to know, does anyone have any questions for myself about the relaunch or Miss Kim? Ask us a question. You can just drop your comment in. Ask us a question. Don't be scared, as they say. Ask us a question. Okay, so maybe if you have a question when you watch the replay, put it in the comments, and we will get back to you and answer you. So, Miss Kim, I'm so grateful that you joined me tonight. This has been a wonderful experience, and I'm urging everyone to run, don't walk to Miss Kim's website. I'm going to put all of that in the caption when I post this wonderful video, because you're going to want to get her products and services to help you on your author journey, or to help you as a parent with books for your child. I think I'm really loving this Reading Buddy. I think I'm going to do something with this as a part of one of my relaunch gifts. I have to think this over.
It's adorable.
I love this little critter. Yes. So, Ms. Kim, do you have any final words you want to share with our audience?
Yes, I want to say thank you again to you for having me. I always enjoy your presence. Always smiling, always full of so much information. So thank you so much for having me and just considering me. And then for anyone out there, yes, KP said if you have any questions, please feel free to drop in my DMs or email me. My email is accessible through my profile. You can just click the button and the email window will pop up. And then also visit my websites, kimcleewrites.com and kimcleecreates.com. As far as services are concerned, from a creative perspective, I do the Canva workshops. Look out for maybe something special coming up in July. And I also do book formatting and layouts, and I do websites. I do content creation. I know a lot of people struggle with their social content. So if you need something, reach out. We can figure out something to help you guide that process along. And just again, thank you very, very much for having me. And if you're in any of those states that I'll be in later this month, let me know. So thank you so much.
You are so welcome. You're welcome. Lizzie B. Hayes, coming later this summer. Until next time, I wish you love, laughter, and literacy. Good night.
Bye.